Raj Sharmacharya, and I'm here today with my esteemed payroll baddies that they'll introduce themselves throughout the podcast. And we're so excited to be here for our first podcast ever. But before we go into the podcast, I think it's fair now for us to talk about who are we payroll baddies? Well, we payroll baddies, we're just a bunch of regular folks with an extreme passion for payroll and HR tech. So this podcast is something we wanted to put together for a place for all of us to talk and rant about anything and everything. Because this is what we do on our free time anyway. I call up my buddy Imran and Todd and Jesse and Gio and Sonny. We're like, hey, let's just talk. And sometimes we talk about something good, but sometimes we just talk shit. It's fun.
I think Imran said it. I think Imran said we should just record this shit one day.
Exactly. Yes.
Sure. And I was already doing it a little bit, so I was like, you know what? Let's get the gang together and do it instead. It'll be more
We
entertaining.
do it in our pajamas too, and wear gold chains and chains.
Because because we gotta look fly.
You don't want to see the bottom half of our screen.
So,
Well, at least not Todd.
No, I have to walk away. No, walk away.
It'll be at the end. You know, if you stay for the whole episode.
our mission, our mission is to make payroll and HR tech fun and grow more payroll baddies, because we know you guys are out there. You guys sometimes are outspoken, sometimes you're hiding. We all want to make it, we're a cult here and we want to make this a big thing. So we're super excited. But before we get into the funness of all, I think there's some disclaimers that we probably should go over. Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
First, and foremost, this podcast will contain some well-placed cursing. Again, I've already talked to Todd. I told him you cannot use the F word every other word. It has to be well-placed.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear
it.
It
has to be well-placed, right? And here's the biggest disclaimer. We are definitely an SAP biased podcast. So
and if you don't like it?
Don't like it? Get the fuck out.
I'm getting sweaty already.
Well-placed F-bomb,
Jesse.
just to get us started, right? So we will want to get this started. This is all going to evolve as we do more and more podcasts. But we like to start off with something that we actually took from another great podcast, The New Heights. Shout out to my Kelsey brothers. New news. Our first topic today in new news is to talk about SuccessConnect, because that just happened. So I'm going to pass it over to my baddie, Jesse. Jesse, take it.
Yeah, thank you, Raj. Well, we all just got back from Portugal. Some of us were at the conference. Others were just on Pink Street, not looking at you, Sunny. I'll be honest, you guys. You guys know I'm a SuccessConnect junkie. Love SuccessConnect. I plan it the day after for the next year. Portugal, though, to be honest, I don't know if I was tired. I wasn't as excited about going over the sea, but I have to say, for me, one of my most favorite SuccessConnects in the last 11 years. How about you guys?
Number one.
Hashtag fire.
Number one.
Well done, SAP. Well done, marketing team. Love to hear from you guys. I'll share some of my favorites and my insights, but Imran, you go first. What did you take away from SuccessConnect? What was most exciting for you, and where do you think there's opportunity?
Well, I mean, it was awesome. Of course, I got to say this for all the baddies, the emphasis on payroll, right? So first of all, I'm a little bit pissed off too. I'm looking at you, Todd. What the hell, man? Like, I was there for 5 years at SAP. I was trying my best to hype payroll. I've been a baddie for a long time. I was reading blogs, speaking. I did my own podcast. I wrote books. I was trying to hype payroll up. Then I leave SAP, and all of a sudden, keynote stage, front and center, everybody's talking about it, right? So it's like, I don't know. I was kind of
you were holding SAP back.
I was holding it back, man. I guess
Exactly.
took it and ran with it. So I'm a little bit frustrated by that, but at the same time, I love it. I mean, shout out to Dan Beck, the fact that he brought it up there. He wore the baddies chain. Mary Ann wore the baddies chain, right? So that was awesome. But then getting into it, I guess my experience was different, right? The last 5 years plus, I was at SAP and I was always delivering the content. So it was a whole different point of view. Back early in my career, I was a consultant. So we're talking about over 10 years back. And I have to say the one thing that was different, and I think this is why it's the perfect time for us to all come together, is when I look back 10 years ago and I was working for a partner, there was almost a little bit of animosity between partners, right? Like you wouldn't go stop by another partner's booth. People wouldn't talk to each other. This year I was much different, right? That partner summit was awesome. It was the best partner summit I've been to. Shout out to Nick Holmes. He uploaded that awesome picture of us on social media. Shout out to the whole team that put that together. Bonnie, great MC. Lily really hooked it up for us. But I just love how there was this collaboration going on between partners, and that's what we're doing here, right? We're all from different places, and we're just working together. So that part was awesome. I'll let the rest of you guys get into some of the specifics of what you love. But of course, I love the emphasis on payroll. So, Gio, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you. I really loved, first of all, Portugal. What is there not to love, right? Everything was there.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
True. I have a spot for that.
CR7, baby, CR7.
Another thing is we got to build this. The baddies came out of that whole entire trip. So that's amazing. The technological advances that SAP came out with, whether it was, payroll, I know. I'm here supporting the whole payroll clause and loving it because it never got loved. And let's be honest, right? In being in SuccessFactors and SAP for so long, I kind of ran away from payroll, but now I'm being brought back to be a payroll baddie. So this is awesome. The AI, all the advances that are coming out, and skills was also taught.
We're talking about skills.
You know what? Skills gets. All the talent stuff gets so much limelight. I'm just, I'm so happy.
All right, I let it go for this time, but I'll bring it back in episode 3 or something. Look into the future. But yeah, Steady, what did you like about it?
I mean, outside of Pink Street, that Jesse called me out on. Hey, all of you guys were there with me. So, so I haven't missed any of the Success Connects besides the time my daughter was born. Mm-hmm. And I will say, this was by far the best Success Connect I've had. And I'm kind of disappointed because there was some rumor going on that next year it might be in Singapore, but then I found out it's going to be in Vegas. So I'm kind of disappointed. But yeah, I mean, it's all the product innovations, all of the partners, sort of, Imran, to your point, everyone was just excited to sort of learn, network, meet, all the other sort of, partners. And it was just an exciting time. And I think Dan Beck, with sort of all the innovations specific to payroll and all the other kind of areas, it was exciting because for me, someone at IBM, it's exciting that we're also demonstrating our capabilities, partnering with SAP, specifically behind the Joule aspect, and really seeing that limelight when he's presenting all the ecosystem partners, right? And truly giving back to the customers to say, hey, guys, we're not just one SAP. We're an ecosystem of all partners coming together to serve our customers, right? And that's essentially what was exciting. All the keynotes were fun. I wasn't able to make it out to the partner summit because we were actually having customer dinners, not on Pink Street, and it was super exciting. And I'll leave it one thought that I actually ended up selling a deal on Pink Street as well, payroll. So it was worth it. It was worth it.
I hope you use electronic signature.
DocuSign, baby. That's how we do it.
That's right, baby.
Relax.
What about you, Todd?
Hey, listen, I know why you wanted in Singapore, because there's no extradition treaty with the U.S. I get it. It would definitely be a blast, but I think what we're going to have next year is going to be popping too. It's I don't think it's a typical venue, but I wouldn't be able to comment either way if I did. So listen, I have not slept since the 27th. I have been so pins and needles. I know Raj's over there. Yep. Listen, and to Imran's point, it's a long time coming that we get our due, and we're kind of going back to the roots of SAP, where we do the operations right first, and then we build on top of that, right? So let's get the operational integrity going. let's make that foundation strong, and then we can just build a beautiful house on top of that with skills and talent management and all the things. But when you don't start with a solid core, I mean, the house will crumble, right? So I'm super excited. AI, connecting the AI to that strong foundation. Like, if you don't have master data management, and that's going to be my topic here, like, master data management is back to being sexy. And like, if you think it's sexy, then you belong on this podcast, because that is like the underpinnings of payroll, and doing payroll accurately and timely. And with what's coming with ECP, in the modernization, I mean, we're going to be delivering things in payroll that will drive return on investment for the entire suite, from the HR perspective. So yeah, I'm obviously super excited. I'm excited about our leadership. I'm excited about how payroll took front stage. I haven't seen that since the day it was released, and we have thousands of customers. So and almost 1 billion pesos. We'll talk about that. But so there's a lot of great things that were showcased, but also, look, hanging out with you guys, hanging out with the rest of our customers. I had so many great customer conversations, partner conversations. Look, there's enough business for everybody. There's actually too much business because of the embarrassment of riches that we are around payroll. I mean, we have so much to share with the world, and we need everybody singing out of the same hymnal. So back to you, Rod.
Reach it.
That's right, baby.
Reach it. Okay, how can you not get excited when you hear Todd talk like that? Seriously, that's the feeling that I freaking got from last week. Again, some people, you guys know me really well. I'm a very passionate person. When we get going about something, it is awesome. And you know what's been a travesty for the last few years, and really for more years than that, is that the dues that SAP, especially payroll, does not get. Like, we're here out there sometimes trying to defend SAP and payroll, but bullshit. We are, SAP payroll is the king. Like,
that's right, baby.
Nothing better, baby.
It's a fact, right? It's a fact. To see that on stage with Dan, with all the leadership, just preaching that, just gets me going, and I hope it got the other payroll baddies out there going, right? Because it's about that. It's about AI and what they're doing with AI and payroll, and AI with other things, right? SAP is in the forefront of that, and we need to make sure the world understands that. And we this is why we created this, right? We want to be a voice to make sure people understand that, and when we're preaching it like Todd does, right? So really excited about that. Again, Gio, I know we made fun of the skills thing, but really the skill stuff is really cool. It's really cool, but this is something we've always known about SAP. They're on the forefront of that, always doing this. It was really cool to see the payroll core, master data management, all of that coming into the.
Wait, can we call?
You know what?
Todd was talking about master data management, but like I have this image. Can we call it master daddy management?
Daddy. Yeah. Todd, you are our payroll daddy.
There you go.
Baddie daddy.
I'll take it.
Baddie daddy. Ooh.
Payroll baddie daddy. I'll take it.
All right, we got to make that official now. Actually, payroll baddie daddy.
Daddy.
Like what? One more point on SuccessConnect. To the whole topic of skills and all of that, the stories that we heard on stage, I think, the order in which you do things is very important, right? We heard a couple of them. BT Group, you know what they said? They said, hey, we got our core in order. Right? They have 90,000 people, and now they're running them through payroll. They have mobile functionality. They did EC. They did all that. And now they're like, okay, now we're going to look at AI. We're going to look at all these stuff. So that's the order in which to do it. And even if you look at Aho Delhaize, they were on the keynote stage, 400,000 people. They said they do over 1 million pay statements a month mobile, but now they're looking at AI. So that's why you got to get this part right. And those stories we heard at SuccessConnect, they really just hit the mark from my standpoint.
Absolutely. One of the things that I was most excited about is I always feel like the product team was like the wizards behind the curtain. And I think with Dan coming in, they were front and center. Yeah. The product team was everywhere. And what I think I heard a fact that SAP's done more in 2 years than they have in 20. And I think that's the world we live in, right? We always say this, in a world of instant gratification. Like I think about my kids, they fact check me all the time with Alexa. She's like another member of the house. I have to make sure she's not looking. But they'll ask me, mommy, they'll ask me a question about a fact about World War II or whatever it is. I'll respond with my knowledge, and then they'll turn around and fact check. Alexa, is this right? These are our future employees, right?
Yep.
These are the future workforce. And I think what SAP is doing right now in marrying, core and payroll, AI, like there's some really exciting things happening. And I thought that was all on stage last week. There's so much coming. I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Hey, sorry about shouting out the Circle God's name if you're watching this on a speakerphone, because mine's lighting up right now. I'm just hoping that she stays quiet, but
yeah, I like that, Todd. I know you got to be really careful, but
I know everyone's like, is she listening? She's always listening.
Is she listening? Exactly. So, speaking about payroll, and I think, to echo what all of you have said, the other thing that really was very cool is the camaraderie. Like this group here, we've been a core group, if you will, for a while, but payroll's kind of what's kind of brought us all together over the last couple of years. And I had the best time with you all last week. I enjoyed all the other people coming together and wanting to be part of this revolution, right? And there's a lot more payroll baddies out there, and we want to welcome you into the circle. And we want this to really be that, a payroll revolution. Payroll people, it's your time. You're baddies, okay? This is your time to shine. You're on stage. Get the credit. The number one thing that companies, keep them up at night is making sure they're paying their people, paying them on time, right? Compliance, regulations. This should not be just an afterthought. Like, it's your time to shine, payroll baddies. So
That's right.
I'm pumped. Big topic though, payroll. I have a question for you guys. There was a conversation trying to understand, I have small children. Some of you do as well. Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old here. Break this down, simple concepts. I'm trying to understand with Alight and Strada, Workday, SAP. Help me understand the relationship here specific to this company.
Sure.
Who wants to take that, Ron?
Yeah, I'll take it, and then Todd can add in too, or Roger. Yeah, any of the baddies can add in. But look, I think we've talked about partnerships, and the world has really expanded in terms of what you think about what that was like 10 years ago, right? Workday had their whole power of one and tried to do everything yourself. I do think SAP was on the forefront of partnerships, right? Everything changed from a consumer standpoint when Apple, right, announced that the App Store, and then that's really gone to the enterprise, right? And so there's different levels of partnership. And if you look at it, like App Store is probably the most simplistic one, but you have these relationships going all the way to like a white labeled solution, right? That's when you're selling someone else's solution as your own with your own branding. And, you're talking about explaining it like a 5-year-old. How many of you have been to Costco before, right? Shop at Costco?
Everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody. Well, this is a global podcast too, Todd. So, but.
And they're all over the world.
They are all over the world. Yeah, right. But if you ever bought the Kirkland brand, and an SAP shop. Yeah. If you've ever bought the Kirkland brand, you'd think, oh, this is Costco's brand. However, what you don't realize, and this is out there, but their coffee is manufactured by like Starbucks, right? So it's the same actual product, even though it's sold as Kirkland. Same thing happens at Enterprise Tech, right? And I think I saw the blog, and we had conversations at SuccessConnect. Julie Fernandez, who great, someone I consider a friend. I saw she wrote a blog about this where Workday is selling Strada payroll on their own contract, right? So that's like the same as their native tech, which I think is really interesting. SAP kind of does this too, right? We call it the solution extension with things like workforce software. But there's different ways you can brand it, right? You can brand it as what SAP does. Yeah.
Wait,
what's up, Raj?
I'm sorry, but I have to. Let's. I want a new segment. I want to call it Poke the Bear. I feel like I got. All right.
No, I'm getting sweaty again.
Here we go.
Like the last thing.
I'm not trying to stir anything up. I'm just trying to understand. right? I'm just trying to understand.
But really, you are stirring things up.
Yeah, no. Imran, he did a fantastic job about explaining how it's white labeled, and that makes perfect sense, right? But I just need to understand something. From what I understand, Strada, a great company out there, they're doing their payroll on two big technology, SAP and Workday, right? I'm asking, do they have other technology that they use to do payroll? Because when I saw this news, it was a little bit weird to me because I read it as, okay, Workday, I mean, they do payroll in, I think, maybe 2 or 3 countries, maybe 4, I'm not sure. And they don't
I
really
think it's
have a
five.
global,
It's five, but
they don't
we
even
argue.
have a global payroll engine like SAP does, just saying. But then you're white labeling something like Strada, a great company out there doing great payroll business. Then, well, what is the technology you're using to service those other global countries that Workday doesn't, right? Again, if there's somebody out there listening who, if you know more about this, we would love to have you on the podcast. Again, this is not to throw shade. This is really just trying to understand. So sorry, Imran. I had to get my piece out there. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll chime in. I'll chime in there real quick, but I'm going to stay focused on what Strada and our BPO partners do for our customers, because I think that's a kind of a critical thing, especially as we've reinvigorated those relationships over the last 8 months. And we have 2 of the world's largest outsourcers with Strada and ADP signing agreements with us moving forward to help our customers move into the cloud, right? So I think the difference for the audience would be that Strada is out there really focused on the ability to outsource everything SuccessFactors, not just payroll. And ADP is hyper-focused with global view on payroll. And so our teams are working together to make sure that we can get all of our customers moved off of the on-prem environment with ECC, the legacy environment, and into the cloud. So 2 strong partners delivering that, for customers that are maybe don't want to go through that upgrade themselves, or running out of time and are thinking about outsourcing. It's a great opportunity.
So can I just translate that really quickly in my head?
Number 5.
I used English.
You did, but what I heard was Strada, ADP, 2 great companies using SAP technology as the main payrolls, again, because SAP payroll is king. It's all I heard in my head. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to imagine. I mean, I wonder how ADP feels about that whole relationship, right? Because I know they do a lot of work with Workday too. So, I have to wonder about that a little bit.
So you're saying SAP is king. It's the engine of all engines behind a lot of other third-party vendors, sometimes competitors.
You got to look under the hood, for sure.
Yes.
Whose tech are you really using?
The Ferrari engine underneath there. You got to see the Ferrari engine that's underneath that.
I think that's
Is
the
it a Ferrari
question.
engine? Is it a Ferrari engine? Or do you look under there and see something else, right?
It's a good RFP question, right? When you're looking at global payroll, maybe this is a bigger topic for another day, but what is the true engine? What's running payroll? And maybe in some cases we're swiping left, right, Giovanna?
Yes, maybe we are.
Another topic for another day.
Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more.
What if it's SAP, we're swiping, that's a right? Do I have my directions correct?
Yes, left is bad, good is.
That's another podcast talking about Gio's dating life. So that's
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So guys, this has been an exciting conversation. I think we covered a lot of great topics, right? All the way from SuccessConnect, the recap, to Strada, to Gio's dating life, to Pink Street.
Don't forget about it.
More to come on that. But I, for one, am super excited. I know all of you guys are as well. And all of you out there, payroll baddies, right? This is the time to get involved. Exciting things are coming up in payroll. We're here to lead the front, and we're super excited. Come join us on this journey. We have, I think Imran set up everything for us. So thanks, Imran. LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. If you're not on TikTok and not learning payroll, something's wrong. So please like, subscribe, follow us to get the latest and greatest, right? And stay tuned on our next upcoming podcast. And thank you for watching, and super excited to have you guys listen to the future ones.
We might even have some giveaways in the future. I got some extra chains back here, right? I know. Oh, you do too, Jesse. I see it. Okay. So yeah, we'll see about that. You can be a real baddie with a real baddie chain. You know, so we'll see.
I love it.
All right. So,
All right.
Baddies out.
Baddies out.
out.